Well, question is, having bought the facial animation character pack, I'm delighted how easy it is to bring a Dash Genesis character in and set them up for facial animation. However, I think there's a need for a tutorial, video or otherwise, showing the best method of importing facial morphs for non-Genesis. Okay, here it comes. A non-Genesis character. People want to make it talk in iClone. Well, it is possible. This is a Victoria 4.2. She's already preloaded, preset, ready to go. The only thing I haven't done is decimated the character. Now, if you look at the 4.2 and you click on the head, for instance, it opens up here. Look at parameters. Within the parameters, there's morphs and shapes. There's partially hidden morphs. There's morph expressions. There's injection channels display. Choose your morphs and shapes. We got iClone5. Now you can change the shapes here. The eyes, the iris, whatever you need to do. Then you've also got morphs here, which are expressions for iClone, face, and Viseme. Now, all you've got to do is change these as you go along on the timeline, and they'll record. You look at your timeline. Each one of these is a different facial morph or a Viseme that's been recorded already. I'll just slide this across and go into the face so you can get a better look. These are just facial morphs. Each one of these, if you watch your sliders here, I'll stop at each one briefly so you can look. These are just changes made to the face. And you can slide up and down. You can do combinations. You can do single morphs, your choice. These are Visemes and facial morphs combined. These give you extremes. Don't worry about that. You don't necessarily have to have the extremes used. I'm just using them so I have the ability to adjust inside of 3D Exchange when I get into the expression editor panel. So these are all extreme poses. You don't have to use 100%. You'll notice sometimes it just stays where it's at because I added a key to keep it there. Now we start to get into the Visemes. Look kind of strange here. That's because it's building up a combination. But each one of those was used so that I have their use. If you use these keys, they will export as keyed morphs. Doesn't matter if you only move it by 1 degree. You need to move each one of these at least some to get it to record. Now once I've got this done, I can close my timeline because anything on the timeline will export as an animation facial morph. So I've got the character here. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's exported, but sometimes, you know, the Taga keys are not accepted in 3D Exchange very well. So I come down, I bring this down. Here's your character, and I go to Decimator. Now, what I've got to do is select all, and you can go into weights, and I'll cover that briefly on weights for some of these characters or some of these things here. If you go into here for the character, hit weights. What you want to weight specifically is the head, the hands, and if you hit check right here, you'll notice I've changed these to the eye socket to a 2, the lips, the nostril, skin face. The nipple is going to be hidden by this cloth anyway, so it's no big deal. The hip area, if you'll look at the hip area, all this can get destroyed easily because of the way it's set up. So you want some weight in there. Let's expand that out. That's the head, hip. Now there's an area in here that I reduced down to 0.1. You set your weights wherever you want. Yeah, it was the cornea. It's not a weighted area. For me, the cornea blocks the access to the eye, so I don't care about the weight of it. I usually either reduce the opacity or delete the map altogether. You can always put another one in. Pupil, eyelash. I've got my own eyelash map, so I don't worry about theirs. But anyway, there's how you set your maps. You just go in there and you just click on it, and you type in whatever you want. You can increase your maps or decrease them. Now, resolutions, if you prepare to decimate, you look, the character, I'm going to bring it back down so you can look at it. The character has basic features. I left her mouth in that position for a reason. Watch her teeth. If I take this down to recommended resolution 29999, you get a little bit of loss in quality, but not that much. Because of the weights that I put in there, her face didn't get destroyed too bad. Her ears are not too bad. I put the weights there for a reason. It keeps the quality of the character intact, pretty much. Now you can go up a little higher with her. It's up to you. But you can always bring this up. Always bring it up and then pause to see what you got. Now that's 35047. It gets a little better, but 42 is a whole lot better than a full-size character at 131,000. So you can bring this down to say 40 and you'd be safe. It's not too bad. Unless you're doing close-up shots. The closer you are going to get to the character, the more resolution you need. But she's ready for decimation. So I would go ahead and create the LOD here and then export the character. Now I've already got one exported, and if you don't know how to do the export process already, you just select everything in the scene. You create, of course, in the decimator, you would create the LOD and then export it. Then File, Export, and once again I said I've already got it, so I'm not going to export it again. You just process it, and it's going to send all of these morphs that are on this timeline out as an option for the expression editor. I'm just going to go back into 3D Exchange and show you what it looks like in 3D Exchange. In 3D Exchange, we're going to bring in the Victoria that we just exported. We're going to bring it in, import animation, smooth curve, adjust material color automatically. I've already edited this character in here, so I know what to look for. But anybody that wants the actual bone set, all you got to do is ask me for it. Go in to convert it to a non-standard. I've already got all the bones preset for it, so all I have to do is load it. And this is morphs 2. This was the first morph, and there was a problem with the chest bone being mapped wrong. So I brought this up and I updated it, and I open it, and then I reduced the bone size so that it's not interfering with the view. I'll just bring it down here. And then I run a test called all test. I preview all the tests. This is test for the entire cycle to make sure that the T-pose is in the right position, the arms work, the fingers work. And once that test is done, then I go ahead and I save the profile if everything's working. That's where the second option for the profile save was done. So far she seems to be working. She's got a few morphs on her right now up here in the hair. There are morphs for this Victoria 4.2 on the hair, and that's the way I put her in initially to keep her hair up there. Now that is not necessarily a head morph, it's a body morph, but it's in the first frame so it retains it. Any body morphs that you have there will be retained from the first frame. So it's already ran through its cycle. She seems to work and function properly, so I would save the profile. Then you go in here, you look at the face extended mapping. If we go into this character and look, there are bones in here, in her eyes, in her cheeks, etc. Now you can extend these bones out and do whatever you need to do with them with the spring settings. These are just basics. I'm not going to cover every single process you'll encounter here. But if you look down at the left eye, this little bone will light up. Get a little closer. You'll see it's got the bounding box around it. The right eye, it's got the bounding box. And if you click here, you can change those. You don't want to change those here. You want to change those in your expression panel. I'm just showing you where it's at. This is where it basically starts. These are the extended bones. If you can't find these and they don't highlight for rotation, look over here, right eye, left eye, and choose the bone just to make sure that you've got the right one. Now see, I can double click here and change the bone. I can double click here. What bone is that? Well, that's the upper jaw. Well, I can tell you that on these morph characters, the upper jaw and lower jaw, you can map them. They will not work because this character was not designed as a Genesis with all the morph targeting done inside. Everything that this character contains is strictly mesh morph, not bone mesh morph. So you can import the character, you can make it speak, but it will not do bone mesh morphing. It will only do mesh morphing. So once I've got that, all I've got to do is convert. All those bones are preset, like I said. If you want the profile, all you've got to do is ask for it. I might even put it up on Boxster and you can download it. Anyway, we go to the expression editor next. You can go to Spring Editor if you want. I don't care to go into any elaborate settings for this character. I'm not going to use it anyway. But here's a Victoria. She's non-Genesis. In here, she's got eyes, jaw, Viseme. Nothing's in here. Muscle, custom, head. The head bone is already mapped, but you can adjust it, of course. What I do is I set the key to auto key it. You can set the bone size down if you like, and then give her the extreme that you want to set for the character. Upward, go down. If you've got auto key, you don't have to keep going back over hitting set. Leftward, how far you want to turn her head left when she looks left. Tilt left, and watch what you're doing. That way you try and get it kind of evenly matched on each side. And there you go. The eyes, the same thing. If you go in here and you do both eyes here, it will set the left and right. The right and left eye panels here are for further adjustment if this doesn't get it right. All you have to do is this. Now, if you get in closer to the face, you hit in J, and we'll just come in here a little closer. Now, once again, the bones are a little large here, so I'm going to reduce the bone size again. Get them out of the way so you can see the eyes turn. And I'm going to try and get you a decent angle. But if you'll notice, the right and left eye over here are selected. Why? Because you're doing both eyes. So if you use this rotation tool, you take it off and do like this, you don't see the rotation. If you click over here, you won't see it. You've got to have the rotation on here to set the eyes. Now you're looking right. You want to look as far right as you have to, or as you think you can, keeping in mind that a character's eyes are only going to roll so far. Now that's already set. I go to the left, look down, and look up. Now with the maps that are currently on here, it's not as easy to see. But like I said, I already had a character that's been edited for color, etc. On the jawbone, now there's a drop jaw. You don't have a jawbone. If you look here, it's selected the jawbone. But if you do this, all you get is a jawbone moving because it has not been mapped to the mesh itself. There is a jawbone, but that's for use in DAZ, evidently. I've tried to map it. It will not map, not for this character. So I go in here and I drop jaw. Now to drop the jaw, well, How would you do it? Well, you might be able to open the mouth. No, not necessarily that one. But you can do this. Maybe shock. I mean, that's what it is. Normally, if somebody does that, they're in shock. Oh, I don't believe you did that. So, mouth glum, maybe. Now, there's a shocking mouth. Drop jaw. Okay, left is very simple. On this character, there was a morph for the left. Confound left. So is it left or is it right? Let's see. We'll go left. Not quite 100%. Like I said, some of those are set at extremes. And we go here, to the right, like that. Okay? And all of these are already set. These are preset by the time you do this top panel. These are preset. Because these two panels, rotate and move, take their cues from this top panel. So we go to Viseme's. Now, I've already done a previous set for this. It's called Morph Lips. So I open this, and all my Viseme's are already set. All I've got to do is reuse it. If you don't like something, you have to go in here and change it. Now, the numbers do not record on a re-import at this point anyway. So what you might have to do is go ahead and choose this. Now you can go ahead and change these. You can say, okay, well, I don't like this. I want to reset it. So you reset it. Let's say we do this. We don't like it. Any change you make is going to set it back. Any change you make over here. So you can go bashful. Does that mouth look like this mouth? No. Hit reset, it's back to nothing. Now you want to open her mouth a little bit, perhaps. Maybe give a little smile. Not bad. Now that's kind of a match. So I've already got auto key set, so it's already set for me. And then you save it again once you've done your profile, and you're done. She's ready to go to iClone. And she will speak. Now you can go to muscle. This one doesn't have any facial morphs for the brows. Doesn't have any facial morphs for any of this. Come back here. I've already got the character. She's pretty much set up. She's ready to speak in iClone. You can't drop the jawbone because the jawbone's not connected. The morphs control the mouth. But normally what you want to do is if you're going to morph a body on a character, you want to take the upward and set it. Okay? Set it to whatever you're going to be and leave it at one key. Back here on upward, let's say you want to go the other direction. That's custom group 2. Custom group 3, you can come down, you can say, okay, I want this, and I want a little bit of this. That's custom group 3. No other changes. In other words, you just click on your puppeteering tool and you change it. Come here. Let's say you want less of this, a little bit of smile, mouth open. I'm just doing extremes here just so you see how it works. And then go back this way. And I'll bring that character in so you can see it a little closer. This is what this custom group will do when you go to puppeteering. These big open eyes, her body will change based on the basic profile plus what changes you make here. Custom group 5. Now she's back at her basics, but let's say we want to change it to this. Or come back again. Get one of these, get one of these. Just do this. This will be goofy time here. You just go in a circle and she will do these things for you. Okay, whatever you set here is going to be for that key when you go right with the mouse. Down. Let's try Angel or Angle L. And when you pull down, her mouth will go that way. Go left, and go this way. A little bit extreme. Let's pucker mouth. Okay, and then custom 6. We'll go to the next one. We'll give her a iClone body. Should just go large to small. Large to small. She's having a weight control problem. Okay, there you go. And once you've done that, then you can save it again as a newer profile. So we'll save this profile as, not this one, I'm not going to overwrite this. Just call it Body Morphs. And I save it. Now I can export this character without the maps being done as a character. So I'm just going to hit apply to iClone. And I'm not going to use all those morphs. I'll show you they do work. We'll hit front. This character has animation now. What I normally do with a character, once again, I'll go actor, avatar, hit foot contact, make sure she's going to stay on the ground. Hit hand contact if she's going to be reaching. But we'll go into animation. That's what we're looking at. First thing I do is I give her a persona for, say, Gwen. Open it up. Then she's got Gwen's persona. That way, if I want to give her a basic perform, like posed in front of a mirror. Well, there she goes. She's going to pose. Now she may be a little bit off because of her bone structure, so you just edit that in the first frame. Now you notice her arms kind of collided with her body there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the motion layer first, change this, mirror it, and then I want to hit the letter E for rotation. I want to rotate her shoulders out just a little bit. That way her body won't collide. That's it. I'm done with the editing. And now it won't collide as bad. Now it still does a little bit, but not as bad as it was. So that's her first edit. I can go back, change it again, do it in frame. Here, we're going to change this. It always comes up here. Hit the letter E or W. E or W. E. We want to rotate. I'm mirroring this function, so I want to bring those out just a little bit more. I could also bring up the clavicles, but not here. I have to go into the actual bone set. So we're done there. And now she'll go back into her poses. No collision here. So fix that. It's already done with one motion edit. She's got the motions. She's coming back here. I hit pause. You can pick up motions here, or you can right click again and pick another performance, say idle one. That's where she just stands there and she's posing for the camera. Okay. Now, once I've done that, let's say I want to put in facial animation. Maybe not necessarily here, but after she comes out of this pose. So I go in here, I pause here. This is where a conversation will begin. I can import a CTS. We'll say, well, we'll see female at first sight. Let's see what that says.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
And then we can go ahead and import another. Like the conversation's finished, somebody responded. And if you notice, she is speaking, and you can also go in here and puppet her with a character that's not all shiny and I can see her eyes and everything. You go down here for the puppet, hit 3D custom, click here, and then you've got edit properties. Come down here, you've got head tilting, head rotation, vertical rotation. All these, you can set these at whatever degree you need to do. If you don't want the eyes to rotate, set them to 0 when you do the body morphs. Set them to 0, 0, 0, 0. In other words, you're not going to be affecting the eyes. If you don't want the head to move, then set it to 0, or any varying degrees between. You can set it to head tilting, set it to 50, for instance. Once you've done that, you can close this panel as long as you don't select another option here. These are the six control panels you saw in 3D Exchange. This is one I'm working on now. Hit preview. Okay. Come here, we'll close that. Hit preview, and you can press the space bar to see what that's going to do. See your body morphing? See? And that's it. We've already got this preset on this panel. Remember, we had the tilt, no eye movement, but this is a body morph. So I'm going to hit record and press space. Push up, push down, push up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Right or left when you tilt your head, because that's what's in this control panel here. Right here. You make her bob her head, go up and down. Up and down, all it does is change the shape of the body. Left and right tilts the head, because the tilting of the head is built into this panel. So if I hit stop now, it records it. You'll look at your timeline, you'll see it on your face expression puppet clip right here. This is all what I just did, so I'll just start here and you can watch it play out. Watch your body morph. That's just from moving the mouse up. Remember, that was the only key I set for the first 4 panels, was a morph based on the first set. No right, left, or down. And there you go. Never say it doesn't work. So there we go. Now if I go to the second panel, it's at this point now on the timeline. It's past that morph. I'm going to play a little bit. I'm going to give her animation facial again. We'll say, give her footsteps. It'll make her mouth move, but she won't really say anything. Move this out of the way. Once that's finished, then she stops. That's the pause point. Now we're going to go back here where she started that. See, she's still back in the body morphs. So we'll come back here to this point. At this point, her body's been morphed again. Now, if you don't like a morph that's left behind, come back and find a point where you do like it. Click on the puppet clip, right click, break it, delete that part, and her body will stay wherever that ends at. Hit tab, it goes to the end of it. That's the last morph that she's got. Now you come in here again. We're gonna body morph it again, only we're going to do it with the second panel to see what we had in that second panel. Now we're going to take out any head movement, so we'll make it 0. Okay. Come back in here, close this, open it up again. Choose it, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And let's see what we've got up here. We've got eyes blinking. We don't care if that blinks. We'll set that to 0. I'm not going to change the blinking. Come in here. This second panel, we'll preview it just to see what it does. Press space. Basically the same thing, not much. Not much difference. But there are some changes up at the top. Once again, the settings that you do in 3D Exchange are how this puppet tool will work based on what you do here. So if I press space to record, breathing, she's hearing footsteps coming. That's it, you're done. Now you come back here. That puppet clip is recorded right under your audio clip. And there you go. She's breathing harder because she hears the footsteps coming down the hall. Now you can remove all the animation from her face if you like. All you've got to do is go up into this, the face, hit the Viseme right here. And what you need to do is take all these keys, set them to none. Now you can go ahead and click each one, or you can zoom in, actual size. You see all these keys. You take all the keys out, you can still hear it. Her mouth just won't move. Come back again. So expand it out a little bit so I can get in there. And come here. You know, we take all these out. All these control the facial motions. Or her lips moving. So we don't need anything in there except none. Now let's say you've got everything out of there, but you still need to add a key. Double click. And you can add any key you want in there. Put none. Come down a little bit. You can say, well, I'm going to say, ah. Like she's screaming. Here's your expression level. Change it. And it changes the key. So there you go. That's how you change the lip syncing. Anyway, let's watch it again. Only this time she'll hear it. She'll be breathing hard. She just won't be reacting to it except for her mouth opening. And it goes in transition from here to here. Now if you want to keep her mouth open, you just double click. Say, ah. Back again, watch. Transitions to none. And stays closed from here to here. That's it. That is your Victoria 4 talking in iClone. Any questions? Have fun. Cricky out.
Was ist das you want to know? Ja, hallo. Toon characters can speak in iClone. Danke. Auf Wiedersehen.